What's up everybody, Night Cove the Fox here, and welcome back to another episode of Fanmail Openings. So today we're starting with a Phoenix fan fusion gift from Dark Ray and their lovely family who flew down from England and the UK. Me, my family, and my friends each got like a custom-made, color-coded bag full of handmade gifts, and it was the sweetest thing. And I'm so glad that we had the time to sit down with this lovely family, Dark Ray and their mother, to open these. But I wanted to start this episode by showcasing some of the wonderful crafty things that were inside of this gift. And then I will move on to opening the fan mail that I received in my P.O. box. Everything came in like cute little color-coded bags. I'm telling you, it was the most sweet and thoughtful thing, and it was so cute. And I couldn't stop smiling, my cheeks were hurting, and it was so, I don't know, just very, very thoughtful. I can't believe that you guys do these things, it's insane. But Dark Ray does resin pouring, and she made some really beautiful things and useful things as well, because this is a journal, a functioning planner journal. It says my name on it. My lights will probably make it a little shiny, so I hope you can still read it. And then it has a lovely note inside, as well as different tabs that I can go through. So it's like, oh, and then of course, hold on, the best part, the Skibbity Night Cove toilet, and then my mother got thrown into the mix as well, so. So the note inside says, "Hi Night Cove, this is Dark Ray, 1998. Your mom knows me and I follow your channel. The canvas is made by my 11-year-old sister Elizabeth and the keyring by my 9-year-old sister Miriam. I made all the other presents from resin for you, except the mug. Hope you enjoy them." There's a small surprise on the blue separator page, which I just showed you guys. All the best from Dark Ray, 1998. Ah, so sweet. Here is the resin tray, also yellow, and it says Night Cove on it with my little logo. And so me and my family and each of my friends got versions of these that were like custom made, like without our knowledge, because this was all a surprise, but they were like custom color coordinated and made for each of us, which was so creative and thoughtful. Also made by Dark Ray. This must be the canvas from Elizabeth. Very cool. I love the colors on it. Like this little bit down here looks so cool, but this is gorgeous as well, so thank you, Elizabeth. So here's the key ring slash bracelet, I think, from Miriam. Very adorable, very pretty. I love it. And it came in this cute little bag. There were a couple more of these in there as well. And then look at this mug. Look at it. It is so perfect. Like if I had a dream mug to drink my tea out of, right? This would be it, because it's my favorite color and it has a little white rabbit on it like Timmy, and it's so freaking precious. And here is another keychain pendant looking object here. It is so pretty. I love the glitter in it. I hope it's kind of like, I hope the camera's doing it justice. But I believe this one is made from Dark Ray as well. I think everything that is resin poured is by Dark Ray, and there were a couple of other things in here from her two little sisters, which is so sweet. But again, thank you so much, Dark Ray, and thank you to your mother as well. You both were so incredibly kind and sweet and thoughtful, and it was so wonderful to be able to sit down with you guys and appreciate these gifts in person. I really appreciate it. You guys don't understand. It was still one of the coolest experiences of my entire life, and I appreciate you all so very much. And without further ado, let's go ahead and now move on to opening these letters that I received in my P.O. box. Starting with something coming from Texas. All right, this is from Calliope Caster for the third time, so hello again, good to hear from you. And the letter is at least a couple of pages long, so what I may do, what I usually do with the lengthier ones, is I kind of scan through, I read it all to myself, but I'll highlight aloud some of the bigger points in here, or I'll answer any of the questions that I come across along the way. Oh, it's super cool that you watch Made You Look. She is so talented at makeup stuff, and she does a wonderful job using like alcohol activated paint and like water activated paint. If you don't know who Made You Look is, it's kind of like a play on words, the way her username is spelled. It's like, it looks like Mad You Look, so like some people pronounce it incorrectly. It took me a second to like realize what it actually said, and then when I did, I was like, oh, that's so clever. But she's a very talented makeup artist, and she's done some insane cosplays or just like full like VFX makeup and stuff. So, oh yes, I have used oil and cream paints, and I avoid them because I don't like the way they feel on my skin, and it is hard for them to like last throughout a day. You have to do a lot of skin prep, and then after that you have to do a lot of setting powder, and even then it's kind of like, it can still wipe off, and it's just, it doesn't layer really well. So I avoid those paints. I prefer water activated because, I don't know, it's just an easier medium to use to do more complex makeup looks. All right, so we've got a question in here that says, do you as a gender fluid or gender plasma person? Yes! See, you guys are catching on. Let's go. Do you ever experience gender dysphoria? TLDR, all the time. When I was younger, it was pretty bad. I was in therapy with someone who understood. So not only was I doing like cognitive behavioral stuff and like PTSD stuff, complex PTSD, but we talked like briefly on dysphoria and stuff like that, which was really like an eye-opening thing for me to have access to as a younger teen. My family has always been very supportive of how I express myself, so that's never been an issue, thank God. I'm lucky enough to have a family that loves me no matter how I dress, how I express myself. They're just there to love and support me, which is really nice. For me, and this may be like a little bit TMI, so if you don't like talking about like, you know, menstrual cycles and stuff, because I've talked briefly about like my PCOS and whatever in my 4-year anniversary Glitch Trap cosplay photo shoot when I was recounting all of the events of the year. I talked more in detail about it there, but for me, it almost aligns with my cycles a little bit, where if I'm entering my luteal phase, or however you pronounce that, you know, the week before shit hits the fan, my dysphoria can kind of go on a little roller coaster ride, which I'm sure is partly enhanced by the hormonal changes that happen when you're going into that phase of the cycle. The short answer is yes. Most of the time it's dysphoria over my femininity or feeling too womanly. I never really want to be perceived as a cisgender woman when I'm out in the world. A lot of that may just be from society and societal norms, but a lot of it is just from a deeper level of how I feel on the inside and how I want to present on the outside, if that makes sense. There's a follow-up question that asks if I ever feel the need to bind. Thankfully, I'm pretty flat-chested, so I don't normally have to deal with, you know, a full binder. I don't have one. For me, a sports bra, kind of like the one I'm wearing right now, does enough. But yes, I do end up wearing more masculine clothing or things that do disguise the more feminine parts of my body on days like that. I dress how I want, but sometimes on days where the dysphoria is a bit stronger than others, my fashion sense can kind of adhere to it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? My gender plasma is a bit confusing. It fluctuates. It's not really like a binary situation. A lot of gender fluid people, I feel, are more, they get a more polarized sense of, oh, today is on this side, oh, today is on this side. For me, it's kind of like I'm on a sliding scale, and that scale can kind of just tip back and forth. But yes, in general, despite how I dress, on the inside, I feel more aligned with, this is gonna sound crazy and counterintuitive like an oxymoron, but I feel femininely masculine. Anyways, I hope that kind of answers your question. I always get like kind of carried away with aimless explanations that don't end up really making a lot of sense half the time, but I hope that answered your questions. All right, we have some more questions in here that I just stumbled across. You've answered this question before, but was wondering if it's changed. But where do you get your colored contacts? I used to get them mainly from honeycolor.com, and that's still like a reasonable resource, but I also lately have looked at, I think it's myibb.com. In fact, I think all of my recent contact purchases that have been used in the cosplays you've seen more recently on this channel have all been from myibb.com. Would you ever consider releasing some of your Alive remake attempts? They're so good as instrumentals. Eventually, I think that would also kind of fall into the category of someday, hopefully I'll make an EP or a mini album full of remasters or remakes of really ancient songs and making them better, which I actually just recently circled back around to opening some of those projects again, and I've kind of been working on them a little bit here and there. So again, in the future, keep an eye out. Eventually, I'll release a little mini EP or album of some kind full of remade songs that were once very old. I don't know how the weather is in Arizona, probably miserable. Yeah, it is. It's been over 100 degrees every day, and when it's not, we finally had a real monsoon blow in, but it was a massive haboob, we call it. You've probably, if you're on TikTok or Instagram, you may or may not have seen viral reels or TikToks about it. But it was massive. It was one of the largest dust storms we've ever had in a while. And so that did quite a bit of damage. And then we actually got a little bit of rain. It's always mostly wind and dust. But on occasion, we get some rain. But other than that, now it's just hot and humid during monsoon season. I mean, it's dried up a bit now. I think the humidity percentage is like in the 20s, but still over 100 degrees, not fun. Oh yeah, you've been getting a lot of rain? Yeah, send it over here, please. We're dying, we're thirsty. Oh, a late happy pride. Oh, thank you very much. I know I'm getting to a lot of these letters really late. Would you consider doing a Funtime Foxy or a Ballora closet cosplay? I have done a Funtime Foxy one already back when it was the Closet Cosplay Quarantine Challenge way back in 2020. And Ballora is actually on my list of characters to do eventually in the revival that I've been kind of revisiting off and on. So yes. There's another question here that I came across. I'm just answering some of them as I go, and this one is, would you ever consider doing a Christmas special sale where you revive old limited edition collections? Example, Tragic Ending. I have technically done this before during one of the Christmas holiday seasons. In fact, it might have been in 2024. I think it was 2024 because it was right after the series ended. And so I brought back all of like the limited edition Glitch Trap related collections, and even the ones that weren't necessarily related to him, I think came back for a moment. Maybe I can make it an annual tradition where if you missed the window of opportunity to get something during the month that was available, if you wait till the end of the year, it'll all be there again for the final time so that you can snag it if you really want it. You're interested in trying to make metal, neoclassical, or electro swing versions of my songs? That's freaking cool. That sounds sick. I would love to hear those if you end up doing that. You're wondering which version of Ableton you should get? When you're a beginner, I might recommend Lite. There is a version called Ableton Lite, and it's a lot less intimidating to look at because it's not jam-packed full of all of the stuff. It's kind of like when you get a demo for an editing software, and it just kind of lets you play around a little bit, you know, learn the basics, and then when you're ready, you can bite off the more expensive chunk for the full suite edition. Looks like there's a Live 11 intro essentials for $99. That's not bad. I would say start with the smallest option if you're just beginning. That way you can dip your toe in the water, see if it's for you, you can learn all the basics, and then once you get that ball rolling, then I would recommend biting off the bigger bite, you know? Oh, that's cool. You make paper eyelashes, like false eyelashes? You even have like the little recipe for it drawn out over here. That's so cool. Look at you being crafty. See, you can work with anything, guys. All right, we're at the end of the letter, and on the back, there's a couple of doodles, which is really sweet and adorable. Look at them. Thank you very much, Calliope. It's good to hear from you again. Oh, wow, look at these. Oh, I see. You do the liquid latex as the, whoop, they stuck together a little. Let go. No, he took one of the rhinestones as a sacrifice. That's okay. Easy fix. Here are all of these paper lashes. My camera stopped for a second, so I don't know how much of my grief you captured of trying to very carefully separate these, but look at how cool they are. Very, very cool. Well, thank you for sending me some samples of these. That is really, really cool. Oh, and the black and the red pair isn't actually the same. I think it's a pair of red and a pair of black, but they made it. They stuck together. They're soulmates now. These are really pretty. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to our next one. And if you notice any changes in the environment, no, you don't. It's all a figment of your imagination. Anyways, this next one is coming from California. Oh, there's little stickers folded up in this note. Oh, look at them. Hold on, you know what we gotta do. Little stickers, very cute. Hi, Night Cove. This is my third time writing to you. Well, hello again. Good to hear from you. I've been wondering if you could put each one of the choices from the adventures with Glitch Trap in the description of the videos because the choices do not show up on my screen because I'm not on a computer. They should show up on a TV as well. So if you have a TV, they should show up everywhere, actually. They should show up on TV, they should show up on computer, and they should also show up on you're mobile, so I'm not quite sure why yours isn't working. The problem with putting them all in the description is the choices get confusing and it ruins the immersion. Otherwise, I would. I also have 2 cosplays ideas for you. Can you do Freddy Krueger and Kanito Pet cosplay? Well, I don't know what that is, although I've seen that game pop up as a suggestion to play, but I'm not sure what it is. Oh yeah, see, yeah, you're talking about the game Kanito Pet or Kanito Pet. It's a horror game on Steam. Okay, interesting. And you upgraded your character Benny. Ah, Benny was your character. Right, right. I made a drawing and I forgot to mention in my other letters that I have cerebral palsy, but don't worry, I'm doing snazzy. I love all of your work, Night Cove. Keep it up. And happy late birthday to, by the time I send you this letter. Also, you have one of my bracelets that I made. Benny's looking snazzy, look at that. Sorry, my light's a little bit bright, so I'm gonna try and angle this so y'all can see it. Adorable, adorable. Thank you so much for writing again, Michaela. It's good to hear from you. Next up, we've got something coming from South Carolina. I see more Pokemon cards. I really need to start a binder where you keep all your cards in there and then you can see them all. But look at all those Pokemon. Dear Night Cove, it's Leech again. Oh, hello, so many repeat senders this episode, how lovely. I decided to write to you again because why not? I hope you're doing great. Currently in my life, I moved into a new house, which ironically enough is the same neighborhood as my last house. I also bought the villain hoodie from your merch store. Also, I am literally the only one who is a fan of yours at my entire school. Crazy. I'm glad you and Alt made a truce and you're not at each other's throats. Unfortunately, I can't be at PFF or LibCon this year or anytime soon. Thank you for being in my life. If you didn't make music, I wouldn't be a fan in the first place. I thought that said fun, like I wouldn't be fun. Never stop being you. Love, Leech. P.S. I sent you some Pokemon cards since you received some from others. Thank you. I will add it to my ever-growing collection. I'm gonna catch them all, you know? Next up, we've got something coming from Kentucky. Night Cove, I'm not sure how to put this into words because it's hard to explain just how much your work has meant to me over the years. I've been following you since I was 9 years old. Now I'm 20. What? You've been following me since you were and you're that's 11 years. I don't think I've been. Wait, how? Have I been doing this? No, I haven't. I haven't been doing this for 11 years. I've been doing it for 9. What? Am I crazy? 2017. Yeah, no, 20. Wait, either way, that's a long time. You've literally grown into adulthood. That means we're also almost the same age. I'm only a couple years older than you. That's nuts. Looking back, it's wild to think how much of my life your presence has quietly been a part of. Through all the changes, elementary school, middle school, and everything that followed, your content was something consistent, something I could always turn to, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. Well, that's so sweet. You've done more than just create content. You built a space that felt safe, creative, and genuinely impactful. Your stories, characters, music, and everything in between helped me through a lot. Navigating identity, dealing with school stress, or just needing a moment of calm in the chaos. There was always something in your work that felt grounding. One small but meaningful example, in my sophomore year of high school, I was gifted one of the t-shirts from the 2021 Icon collection. I wore it so much over the years that it's now totally faded, full of holes, and officially retired as a nighttime shirt. Oh my god, that's so cool. These days it lives on as my go-to sleep shirt. It's been with me through so much, like a soft reminder of everything your work represents to me. Gosh, it's like reading poetry. This is so nice. Watching how you've grown and evolved over time has been inspiring. Your creativity, your shifts in direction, your passion, it's all been something I've learned from and looked up to. No matter where your path takes you, I'll always respect and support the journey. Whether you continue creating or decide to step away one day, I'll always be grateful for what you've shared. You've influenced my life in ways I'll probably never be able to fully explain, but I want to say thank you. Thank you for helping a quiet 9-year-old feel a little less alone. Thank you for being a consistent voice through some unpredictable years. And thank you for still being here even now as I figure out what adulthood holds. There's something personal I'd love to ask. Your outro, "Stay bright 'cause you're a star," has stuck with me through a lot. It's become a personal mantra, something I come back to often. I'm planning to get it tattooed on my right forearm where I'll see it every day. It'll actually be my first, your first tattoo? Stop! Oh my gosh. I've included a stamped and addressed envelope. If you're comfortable with it, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could write that quote in your own handwriting. It would make the tattoo that much more meaningful, something I can carry with me, not just as a phrase, but as a symbol of everything your work has represented in my life. I didn't think it would hurt to ask, and I'd be so grateful. With all my love and lifelong support. And then there's not a name under the comma, so I'm not sure who this is from. I'm going to assume that because the letter didn't have a name signed, that you probably don't want the name on the envelope to be said aloud either in order to like credit you or shout you out. Now, I've explained before how usually I don't do return letters because there's so many of you that, you know, politely request that I send full letters back. However, I think this could probably be an exception since I'm just writing one thing, and this is really, really cool that you're gonna get a tattoo. I think this might be only the second time I've ever been asked to write something for someone ever, and it's such a big deal every time. I feel too special. I feel too like that is so cool. That's amazing. I can't believe that, you know, people want tattoos of my handwriting saying something. I will do my very best when I'm done with this to remember to write it on a piece of paper and put it in this envelope, and then the next time I drop off or pick up my fan mail, I will send that out. So as of this video being uploaded, I have no idea when that will be, or maybe if it is already on its way, probably not. But I will do my very best to get it to you. I don't want to promise anything just because things always happen, life gets busy sometimes, but I can promise you that I will try my very best to make it happen, because that's really sweet. That's very sweet. This next one is coming from West Virginia, it looks like. Look at these gals. Cuties. Hi Night Cove, it's Chris/Shadow again. Oh, hello again. Like I said, so many repeat senders. This is so cool. I wanted to ask you a question I've had for a while. I remember you saying you've done dance. Did you do ballet? If so, that's amazing. I've been doing ballet since I was 4. I am so sad to inform that I can't send a plush, but this time I made and sent you a Glamrock Bonnie bracelet. Thank you for making me smile with all of your videos. Aw. Oh, there's little doodles on the back. My birthday is the 24th. Can you wish me a happy birthday? It was 24th of what? When was this sent? June! I'm late. It's the end of August now as of recording this and probably releasing it, but happy belated birthday. I hope it was a good one. Also, I have bad news bears because if the bracelet in question was supposed to be in the envelope here, it is in fact not. There were only 2 stickers, so I really hope that this is just a bracelet you've mentioned. Nope, you didn't say just make, you said made and sent. Maybe it was sent separately. Hopefully it was sent separately. Otherwise, somehow it fell out of the envelope, which I will say this one did have a corner that was a bit chewed up, so maybe it just got a bit damaged in transit, and if that's the case, I'm so sorry. That really sucks. The only ballet I ever did, and I put did in air quotes because like I didn't actually get ballet trained ever outside of the classes I took in school. And those were just general dance classes. So we would touch on all genres, mostly jazz and ballet. But I never like had professional training or went to like outside studios or anything like that. The only ballet experience or training that I ever got was just from the dance teachers in the high school or middle school programs at the time. Short answer, yes, I did do ballet, just don't really do it anymore. Next up, we have something coming from California. Dear Night Cove, hopefully you remember me. Another repeat sender! You probably remember me as Joy_cosplays or Bree, but I wrote to you to ask you a few questions. Do you have any tips for short film making? I don't know, just do it. You can do it with anything. A phone, a picture camera, that's how The Final Escape was made. Not that it exists anymore, and a lot of you newer people who may or may not be watching this might be going, what the heck is that? What are you talking about? It's fine. It never happened, but it did. And the way it was made was on a Samsung photo camera from like 2009. So I would say that if you're starting out and you don't really have a budget, because let's face it, most of us don't. We don't have the money to just, you know, buy a good $7,000 cinema camera. My biggest piece of advice is to just work with what you have. Don't get into your head too much about it coming out perfect the first time. And the more short films you make, the better they'll get. And the more short films you watch that are made by other people, and I'm not just talking like actual movies that you see at the theater or shows on Netflix, I'm talking short films that other indie creators or small filmmakers or independent filmmakers have made. kind of like studying. You can learn a lot from other people who are doing the same thing. So watch a lot of stuff, and when you make your own stuff, don't get so hung up on what you have to work with. Just make it work. Be creative and have fun with it, and just keep practicing. And if you want to share it with the world, share it with the world, and they'll give you feedback as well if you're ready to hear it. Number 2, what do you recommend me posting for cosplay videos for YouTube? I need ideas, please and thank you. Do whatever you want. You can do in-character cosplay stuff, or you do skits. You can even do skits with yourself. People on TikTok do it all the time. If all you've got is your phone, you just dress in one cosplay, write yourself a little funny script or something, and then you film the parts for the one character, switch to the other character, film their responses, and then you stitch them together, and it's super fun. Or, if you're not into being in character, then you can just do anything but in a funny outfit. I mean, look at my channel, for example. I've done crazy things, and I've just had a costume on while doing it. You can do whatever you want. Your own imagination is your only limit. My last question is, do you have any cosplay tips? Like, how do I make them look more appealing? Just your cosplays in general more appealing? Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by appealing. As far as like, you know, technical aspects, I would recommend to start picking up some hobbies like sewing, so that if you're a person who even buys their cosplays, which no shame, don't blame you. I've bought pre-made pieces before. But let's say something shows up and it doesn't quite fit right, so now you're left looking in kind of like a loose fitting, you know, cheaply made looking cosplay. There's a lot you can do by learning how to sew, to just take in the seams a little or make other little improvements to it to help it look more appealing, right? So I would always say that sewing, whether it's with a sewing machine or by hand, is a good skill to have. Wig styling as well. Learning how to make your wigs look less coconut shaped if you've got the short ones, or this wig that I'm wearing right now, which yes, it's not my real hair, I know. But this wig that I'm wearing came today, actually, as a longer kind of blunt bob. And so I Googled a quick 3-minute wolf cut tutorial, and I pinned my wig to a cheap 39-cent foam head, and I got a pair of scissors, and I made her look like this. And now it looks more appealing, right? Instead of a bad chopped bob. And by chopped, I don't even just mean haircut, I mean like chopped. I suppose my word of advice in summary for making your cosplays more appealing, in your words, would just be to maybe start even one at a time. You don't gotta overwhelm yourself with trying to pick up all of these skills, but I would say maybe pick one, like wig styling and cutting, or sewing, or even something smaller like painting or makeup. You know, look up makeup tutorials for the characters you're wanting to cosplay, or just casual makeup tutorials, you know? Little things like that you can grow your skill set in, and then combine all of those things together over time and your cosplays will improve. Hopefully these questions don't seem the same. Hopefully you get this, and thank you for reading this. There's fan art with this note. Aw, thank you. And there is also a little doodle down here of my logo. I'll show you guys. Look at that. Well, thank you for writing to me again, Bree. Good luck with your cosplays. This next one is coming from Oregon. So this is a letter from, it looks like Vixen Truss. It's Vixintrus. So I'm not quite sure. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, as I usually do with names. But it's really cool that you're into all of the alt lore and stuff, and I'm glad that it kind of helps you with your own like self-identity and like the darker sides to yourself as well. There's a little more of like a personal note in here that, you know, resonates with me a bit. So I'm glad that the AWG vids and alt as like a persona has kind of helped you through some of that. How am I as of reading this? I'm good. I had a pretty productive day. This is the most productive thing I've been doing. I'm working. Styled a wig, just talked about it. It's been a good day. That's really cool that you want to get into making music and stuff. Well, what a lovely short and sweet letter from Vixen Truss. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but regardless, thank you very much. Last but not least for this episode, we have something coming from Arizona. It's the world's tiniest little blue bracelet. Maybe it's a ring. I don't know. It ain't gonna fit me though, so I'm not gonna try and force it to. But she cute. Dear Night Cove, hi there. It's me, Zane again. Oh, hello. Wow, I think this might be like the repeat sender edition of fan mail openings. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to take a moment to say how much I appreciate the amazing work you do on your channel and how amazing you are. Your creativity, voice work, and storytelling always brings so much life and emotion to the characters you feature, especially your Five Nights at Freddy's content. It's clear how much passion and effort you put into everything you create. Your animations and songs have helped me through tough days and always give me something to look forward to. Whether it's a new music video or even just a fun update, your content never fails to inspire and entertain. Thank you for being such a talented and positive presence in the community. Keep doing what you love and know that your fans and the Weasel cult truly appreciate you. We all look forward to whatever you share next. I also wanted to say how much I truly loved meeting you at LibCon and PFF. I'm so glad that I met you and Shadowfang and Goatmom. I really appreciate how you all help and love y'all's fans and help them out whenever they are going through a tough time, and especially how much effort you put into making music ever since I started watching you. I have always looked up to you and I am inspired to make music of my own, which I have. I made one nerdcore song about Underfell. Oh my gosh, wow, that word just unlocked a deep, buried vault. Holy crap, Underfell? Yeah, I'm not even gonna explain that to you guys. It's just you had to be there. Made a nerdcore song about Underfell Kara, or Kara, however you pronounce her name. I know people all say it different. And it's called Forgotten, and I'm thinking of posting it, but I still need to find something to distribute it onto YouTube. With lots of support, Zane, a proud fan. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Zane. I know, you guys are all so nice. It was fun having you around for LibCon and PFF. I look forward to LibCon again this year as well. I haven't gotten the details on like the dates yet or anything, but I do plan on trying my very best to go. If not the one that usually happens in the fall, like October-ish, then I'll definitely try and go to the one in December. Oh, we've got some drawings too. Ah, look, it's my love invitation. Very nice, very nice. And then it looks like we've got a live with the like all-seeing eye. That was a creepy album cover. It was just a random like animatronic looking eye that I had digitally drawn one day and I had no other use for, and I was like, sure man, that looks edgy. Let's make that the album cover for this song. Oh, it's Bonkers with legs! Oh my gosh, it's Bonkers with microphone legs. Oh, that was so funny. Gosh, Bonkers was definitely the main character of Phoenix Fan Fusion 2025. What a silly guy. But always lovely to hear from you, Zane. Thank you so much. You guys are all so nice. And with that, that is going to do it for this episode of Fan Mail Openings. But don't fret, I am not through everything yet. I am going to get through the rest of this in the next episode. But until then, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for sending me fan mail. You all are so thoughtful and sweet and talented. And good luck with all of your future endeavors for those of you who are considering dabbling in new things. I wish you all the best. And in the meantime, as always, stay bright because you're a star, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.